Hello everyone and welcome to another high-low game of Age of Empires. Today, two of my favorite Twitch streamers are battling it out for our entertainment as Survivalist playing as the Portuguese in red prepares to take on Hoang playing as the Celts in blue. Now all the players heard their herdables explore their immediate enclosed off surroundings because we find ourselves on Arena today and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age, probably Castle Age ASAP. Ooh, why don't you look at that? Three little sheep from school are we. Not a bad time for us to take a look at the Civ matchup that we are going to be watching today, right as an Ibex gets pushed into the town center to meet its ultimate and delicious death. The Portuguese, a civilization whose strong economic bonuses allow it to take advantage of its very, very powerful gunpowder roster. Get an early game boost to your economy. Portuguese foragers, the ones working away at these red, juicy, delicious looking berries, also generate wood while they collect those berries. All Portuguese units cost 20% less gold. All of their technologies are researched 25% faster, with the exception of going up to the next age. And once you hit Imperial, you as the Portuguese can build your unique economic building, the Feitoria. This is a structure that auto-generates all 4 resources at the same time automatically, but it does take up 20 population space. Now, using these bonuses, features, and powerful economic prowess of the Portuguese, they can field an incredibly impressive gunpowder-based army, since they have access to every single non-unique gunpowder unit in the game, and all of these gunpowder units can be upgraded to fire more accurately at moving targets. Think ballistics for gunpowder, and also to increase the speed of their projectiles, which strongly benefits their unique unit, the organ gun. This is a gunpowder siege unit that fires 5 or 6 small bullets in a small spread, designed to hit multiple targets at once, and it does come with a decent, albeit small, attack bonus against infantry, skirmishers, and even buildings. Now, speaking of taking down buildings, perhaps ain't none finer than the Celts, who, as we all know, eat TC. The Celts, so we saw them the other day, a civilization built around their need for speed. Their lumberjacks work faster, which is great because the Celts need lots and lots of wood for their primary focus, which is siege. Their siege workshops work faster, their siege units fire faster, and all of their siege workshop units can be upgraded to get a massive 40% increase to their HP. Now, coming back to the need for speed, Celtic infantry do move faster than normal. Starting in the Feudal Age, their castles and towers can be upgraded to fire 33% faster, and their unique unit, the Woad Raider, is the second fastest infantry unit in the game, and one that, as we saw, like I said the other day, is just a ridiculously powerful infantry unit. Now, in order to feed a big, hungry, growing Celtic population, the Celts can actually steal and convert enemy herdables, even if they're standing next to enemy units, which I don't anticipate really being a factor in this game, since we are, as I mentioned, on Arena. And one thing you'll notice one thing you'll notice about Arena is that everyone starts behind closed doors, behind walls, gates, and all kind of manner of good stuff. Let's see if there are any resources that are pretty close to those walls and gates. Maybe a little lameable. So far for our Portuguese, not much, and for our Celt, also not much. Interesting. So Hoang has 1, 2, all 3 of his resources to the rear position. Survivalist does have his secondary gold, primary stone in the rear, but the primary gold, what an ugly location for primary gold, even though it's not easily lameable. Just this is not as easily mineable, for example, as one like this one. I don't know how else to say it except to just compare them side by side. This one is a lot more mineable, I think. Pardon me, you'll have heard a small click on the microphone. Let's take a look, in addition, at the expansion positions of the players. One wall being left up, probably just a mistake. It looks like Hoang has a nice big expansion to the rear right of his base, Survivalist to the rear left, and he has left his rear wall up. Now, we'll see if the players follow the standard 3-part meta. The reason I'm saying we'll see is that both of these players, based on recent Twitch viewing by yours truly, have been favoring some fast castle plays. And even though fast castle doesn't necessarily lend itself to the 3-part meta on Arena, which generally part 1 is rush up to Castle Age, so basically fast castle, and then stage 2, fight over the relics until all 5 are gathered, and then stage 3, once all 5 relics have been taken into the monasteries, build armies and clash them into one another. These kinds of fast castles that I've been watching out of Survivalist, who's been practicing with the Portuguese and the Sicilians in a bit of a red Phosphoru inspired moment, It is an aggressive military fast castle, so we'll see if he decides to gather the relics. That being said, when we're talking about fast castle and military aggression, Hoang with the Celts is one of the OG most badass fast castlers and fast pressure players that I have seen in many years. So I'm very curious to see actually who is the first to move out onto the map. It looks like for now Survivalist has discovered his first relic. Unfortunately, he misses the one right next to where his base is. Actually, he misses the second one right next to his base. That is very sour for him. There's also a third one. The relics are not very evenly distributed in this game. There's 1, 2, and 3 right next to Survivalist's base, whereas Hoang has 1 right next to his base. And this one, I don't know if this is near anyone's base particularly. It's a little bit closer to Hoang's, but it's pretty much in the center of the map. So we'll see if the players contest the relics. Barrick suggests to me that Hoang is going to get a stable, although the lack of map vision out of our Celt, okay, absolute and complete lack of map vision tells me he may not get a stable. I don't know. I'm just going to stop trying to predict and sit back and watch as both players are going to hit Feudal Age at roughly the exact same time, just a few seconds apart, of the same number of villagers. Survivalist with a few more seconds of TC idle time will reach Feudal Age a few seconds behind his opponent. Does have the wood. Hoang needs a little bit more wood if he wants to plop down 2 more structures. There's that stable. Survivalist going for a more traditional fast castle with a blacksmith and a market. So he already has 4 villagers on stone, does our Portuguese, which tells me, yeah, he's going to be looking to do some kind of castle drop. Although maybe not. Like I said, I live streamed the other night and I made so many predictions that didn't come true that now I'm, what's the expression? Once burned, twice shy. I'm like 100 times burned and still 100 times shy because I just won't shut up. But Survivalist first to click up the castle. Hoang again, mere seconds behind his opponent. Looks like he wants to pump out 1 more villager, so he will be 1 villager ahead, but he'll also be about 20 or so seconds behind his opponent when it comes to hitting castle. And again, inexplicably not exploring the map. He is training another scout. Okay, maybe now the line of sight is much better in Feudal Age. You can see how much better it is compared to a Dark Age scout. And Hoang opting to use the buddy system here. Sends out 2 scouts. That's all he's training for now. Does have enough food for 2 more if he wanted to. But funnily enough, they discover the relic right next to Survivalist base immediately. Survivalist is buying food at the moment. He's got 650 stone, does our Portuguese. Our Celt, 0 villagers on stone. 0 expenditure of stone. I wonder if he's going to go 2 TCs to the obviously castle drop of Survivalist. Although I shouldn't say obviously. We'll see if it's a defensive castle. We'll see if it's a middle of the road castle. We'll see if it's an aggressive castle. Where would he want to attack into Survivalist? Probably up here to the north with the gold, right? I don't think you really need to lame the stone at this early stage in the game. Now Hoang starting to pump out army. Another scout, another spearman. Rather, a spearman. Survivalist hits the next age. Okay, so it's a defensive castle out of him, and he still has 4 villagers on stone. So I'm wondering if he's no, he doesn't have the wood for a TC just yet. And Survivalist gets shooed the hell away from here. Oh, is he leading Hoang right into the line of sight of the castle? Oh, if Hoang was just 1 more tile to the south, he would have seen the castle. Okay, now he sees the castle going up. 15 minutes in, still no kills. Although it definitely does look like Survivalist might be losing this scout at some point. Hoang going up to a 2nd town center, has not spent the other 100 stone just yet. He is also wood starved at the moment. As a scout moves south. I mean, this journey of exploration for Survivalist has netted him vision of all 5 relics. Hoang already has a monastery. Survivalist also has a monastery. Both of them are trading monks, but our Celt is training 2. And there we go. That one scout finally does bite the dust. Now a wolf wants to get revenge. What's the name of that magician in Game of Thrones? A warg? Was Survivalist scout a warg? Did he transfer his consciousness into this wolf and then attack? Whether or not he did, I can't confirm or deny, but he's going up to 300 stone. So another castle? He's going to need a lot more wood if he wants to start pumping out organ guns. By the way, building a castle, constructing a castle with one villager is going to take a long time. And so Hoang here saw the castle. How's he going to respond? So far, 0 relics to 0, although 1 relic looks like it is being brought home by our Celt. So I wondered if we were going to get to see this standard 3-part meta on Arena. It seems like we kind of are. Hoang, by the way, has also seen the Orion's belt of relics here next to Survivalist base. He's taking the ones closer to him. Maybe a mistake. If you see your opponent is not quite out on the map and your opponent is hesitating to go out on the map, you don't see a single red dot anywhere, might want to take the relics closer to your opponent's base, further from you. And then once everything is nice and safe, you can take the one closer to you. But in any event, it is now 2 relics to 0. We have a mangonel out. But by the time he gets here, I'm not too sure what it's going to be able to accomplish. I've said this before when we watched the Hoang Red Phosphor game, that on paper, mangonels should pretty much hard counter the organ gun, with the exception that their range is the same. But because one has to be microed so much more intensely than the other, and by that I mean the mangonel has to be microed so much more intensely than the organ gun, generally it doesn't really shape up that way. And so we'll see. Well, watch me talk a big game and watch this one mangonel kill like 7 organ guns. But for now, he sees the organ guns. They gun down the last of his scouts, the only spearman he had. Is there another monk? Okay, so it's going to be 3 relics to 2? 4 relics to 1? Where are the monks? Yeah, why are you not returning? Okay, he's researching redemption at the moment. So he's going to be able to convert that mangonel. Not easily, but in a threatening way, he can position his monks to shoo Hoang away. And okay, things have kind of slowed down. I don't see anyone really rushing up to Imperial at the moment. Phase 2 of the arena meta is going to end once this monk deposits the relic inside this monastery, although a very forward monastery. Once he gets enough wood, I would maybe consider building a monastery to the rear of the base. Hoang off of 3 TC, Survivalist on 1 TC, which generally signals aggression on the part of the 1 TC player, but the aggression is not really materializing here. But look at Survivalist stone count. He's back up to 650. Just needs one more rock, one more pebble, and he'll be at 650. But I don't see any villagers being pulled. Oh, wait a second. Right as I say that, 3 gold miners move out. I was going to say probably not the stone miners who were trapped. No, they're not trapped anymore here. Monk will zone out the oh, the mangonel, he deletes it. I was going to say is probably not going to be able to run away. In income, not 3, but 7 villagers. Another monk for Survivalist off the back of 2 relics. Now Survivalist is selling a stone. Wait a second, selling stone. You're now down to 629. Maybe by the time he gets to wherever he's going here, he is going to be at 650. Yeah, he's back to 649. Okay, so I thought he was going to maybe castle drop up here to get the gold, but no, he's going straight for the stone. And interesting, right flush up to the gates and up to the walls. Very interesting, because Hoang can just delete one of these walls. I mean, there's an annoying tree placed here, but he can delete any of these segments of wall and then be able to attack the castle right away. Of course, there's 3 organ guns to stop anything attacking, except maybe a battering ram, which... what's their attack bonuses now with the basic? I know that when they become elite, they start gaining a few attack bonuses. Right now, building is 0, infantry is 2, and skirmisher is 2. I think the building, if I'm not mistaken, jumps up when he's elite. I think it goes up to +1. What do you think? Where should Survivalist focus his fire? On the monastery with the relics or on the siege workshop? So, wrong call number 1. I thought he was going to go after the gold. Wrong call number 2. I thought he was going to go after the stone. He's getting the wood. He's got 100 wood, which is enough to build, I guess, a mining camp. But this is amazing out of Survivalist. He's going to chop down this tree. He's going to get 100 wood. And then I'm assuming he's going to build a mining... Yeah, okay, he's going to build a mining camp. And the way Age of Empires works is once this mining camp is built, all of this 195 wood that these villagers have is going to get deposited. There you go. Jumped up to 318. And he's heading up to Imperial, but so is Hoang. And Hoang has a very rear castle and another siege workshop up north. What's inside of you? Battering rams are inside of you. But Survivalist is in. He's got redemption. And inch by inch, tile by tile, structure by structure, he's going to start converting these buildings. And because he's going rams, Hoang doesn't really have an answer to this. He's getting 2 mangonels out of here. Obviously not out of this one, because unless, I guess you can pop it out on the right side here. And then it's safe from the Portuguese castle. But what it's not safe from... Oh, no. That is so sour. And Survivalist is an Imperial. And he loses the Siege Workshop, the stable. Rams move out of the way. Mangonel count is at 1, about to become 2. Okay, and he's going Woad Raiders. That's going to be fun to watch them try to swarm over this position by Survivalist, who guns down the gate. And as small as this army is, it is a pretty damn scary army. The monks, by the way, 2 of the 3 of them have full faith. And now he's using the converted stable to get knights as well. I mean, this is just... Hoang is focusing on infrastructure. He's got 80 population out of 130. Another castle is going to be out of 150 very soon. Why does he need all that population space? Is that wood not better served training army? In any event, more food for Hoang. Survival is, by the way, back home, still on a 1TC attack path. And so, as we've seen in the past, because Hoang is now ahead 33 villagers, if this attack doesn't work at a Survivalist, ooh, it's going to be rough going for him. The only difference is, based on a lot of games we've seen, Survivalist is an Imperial with Trebs. And what he needs to do right now is take one of these villagers and put an outpost right here. He needs to see what's coming at him. And okay, so he is moving forward. He's going to see... No, he still hasn't seen the castles. He's trying to take the siege down. I feel like the Onager got the... the Onager got that night kill. Okay, he sees it now. Yeah, 2 kills. Oh, no. Yeah, 2 kills. So he sees one of the 2 castles. I don't think he saw the second one. But we've got ourselves a good old-fashioned Treb war. Hidden behind this castle are 3 Trebs. There are 2, now a third one popped out, and Hoang, not mincing things here, not mincing words or actions, has pulled a huge number of villagers to repair these Trebs. He does not want these 3 red Trebs to get lucky one-shotting one of his. And Survivalist Castle is about to fall. He's trying to repair, but a little bit too little, a little bit too late, and now he's got 1,243 stone. But he's getting pressed into by Woad Raiders. Now, Woad Raiders doesn't look like they've got the... Oh, no, never mind. 1.38 tiles per second. Loses to the conversion, though. And now, all of a sudden, I would say things are looking bad for Survivalist, but he still has a barracks, a siege workshop. Unfortunately, losing the stable was a pretty damn big deal, and that is exactly why Hoang went for it first. I don't think he was going to train anything out of the barracks. I doubt he's going to train anything out of the siege workshop. But the stable can produce knights. And remember, all Portuguese units cost less gold. So forward position destroyed. Hoang sees that there's another castle going up here. So now Survivalist is taking not a very big step back, but a decent sized step back in the middle of the map. Is he going to try to go after this stone as well? He does have 800 stone. So if this castle falls, he can build another one. But he went full on monk, and Treb might have wanted to add a few more organ guns. As we saw, they do come with a +2 attack bonus against infantry. And last time I checked, this blue and white pantalooned long-haired hipster is an infantry unit. Oh my goodness, castle goes up, castle immediately falls. And the Trebs are still standing here. Another castle down for Survivalist, but that's okay. He's got 800 stone left. Not too sure why he's running away from this fight. He could probably take this quite easily. And now the stone miners drop off their payload, and another line of defense. So Survivalist is just going stutter step backwards. Hoang, by the way, says forget the relics. Okay, now he's training them. I was going to say he probably doesn't want to spend the gold on the relics, but he's up to 600 gold. Was it almost 800 before he trained those monks? And now the Celtic army is out on the map. He's going to have to deal with this one stable, which continues to pump out knights. But it's going to get 2 shot. Did he catch wind of this other castle? No, he hasn't yet. So Survivalist, little by little, clearing up the infrastructure, or rather Hoang clearing up Survivalist's infrastructure in front of his base, and now there's nothing but an outpost, which the Trebs did not destroy. Let's see it. He does not know that there's a castle here. This is the third. Oh, yeah. Look at the monk play. Some of Survivalist's famous monk play. If you haven't seen his videos about how to micro monks, and you like playing with monks, that sounded real pervy. If you like playing with the unit in Age of Empires that is a monk, then definitely check out Survivalist's YouTube videos about monk micro. Or just honestly watch him on Twitch. His monk micro, that's a tongue twister, is super impressive. He now, by the way, has 5 Woad Raiders to the 12 of his opponent. He also has a couple of Knights and Organ Guns. But now this third line of defense is being broken. And after that, there is only this castle. An emergency double wall off happening here with a couple of houses, another stable. But again, just one villager training, or rather constructing that one stable. How many stables does he have in total? 2 stables. So not exactly Schlachter privileges knights, but they are still at a 20% discount, as are the monks. He's going up to 13 monks. So Survivalist's last-ditch attempt here at defense involves tiefing everything that Hoang is going to throw at him. And with 11 monks out, there are 16 Woad Raiders. Can you imagine he converts 11 and all of a sudden you go from 16 to 0 to 5 to 11, and now Survivalist has twice as many Woad Raiders as you do? Here we go. Now it's the knights who are getting converted by Hoang, and sniper lines the other way around. I do apologize for the clicking microphone sound. 11 conversions on these monks, but it is not enough. The last line of defense, what was this, the 4th line of defense, is falling, and once it falls, these bald old men have absolutely no way to stop the Woad Raiders. And the knights did not manage to get even a single Treb. One of them got converted, maybe more got converted, but only one has survived. Survivalist has a decent amount of gold. He has a decent amount of wood as well. Why was he not training organ guns this whole time is my question. What he doesn't have is food, and so night production is not going to be great. Night production not going to net him anything really once these monks start converting. By the way, block printing? No, so just 9 range. Do the Celts get block printing actually? I don't think they do. That would be kind of sour for a siege civilization to get block printing and basically thief all of their opponent's siege, in addition to their own powerful siege. But the organ gun is not a cheap unit. It costs 80 wood. And Survivalist had about 1,200 wood a second ago. Monk gets caught out in the middle of nowhere, and now Hoang is running amok inside Survivalist's base. The infrastructure outside has been cleared up, and the villagers brought along for the ride to repair the Trebs have nothing left to do. And so they return to a life of peaceful farming, much like many a soldier after a war. Hoang is Survivalist is very nonplussed here, just continuing to expand his economy. And he's going Cavalier. Now that might be an issue here. There's how many monks though? 5 monks. Cavalier in 4 seconds. Upgrades are not great. 1-1. And he just doesn't have the number. There's the numbers. There are 11. They are almost at full health. Town center loss. And this is what I'm talking about, this gold being in a super ugly location here. Look at that town center right next to the wall, so exposed. I guess he could have built it here, but then where would you build this town center? I guess back here. And now it's Survivalist's turn to lose his relic. Hoang, by the way, has regained control of all of his. And here we go. The last ditch effort, I believe, if I had to guess. He's going straight for the monks. He lost 3 Cavaliers to the conversions there. He still does have 10. The Woad Raider is powerful as it is. Is it elite? Yes, it is, but it's only at a forging +1 attack. So 15 damage to a unit that has 3 armor and 140 HP means, yeah, this is exactly what it means. And wow, Survivalist put on a decent amount of aggression, a very cautious amount of aggression. So as I was saying, it's fast castle, but kind of fast castle with an asterisk, where he built his castle very defensively and then moved out, secured the area. Perhaps he was a little worried that Hoang would try to Siege Workshop rush him by placing a Siege Workshop here, but Hoang, cool as a cucumber, played defense. Look at all of the farms for our Celt. 6 mills, 60 villagers on farms. Survivalist is down 70 total population, but after losing the castle, and then losing the castle, and then losing the castle, and then you got it, losing the castle, 4 lines of defense crumbled before the Hoang Celtic onslaught. And even though Survivalist did manage to make a good amount of headway here, perhaps should have, I don't know, should he have scouted the 2 castles a little bit earlier? I'm not too sure what he could have done differently, with the exception of continuing to train organ guns. Because organ guns, monks, and trebuchets, all costing 20% less gold, would have allowed him to mass quite a powerful army here, especially since he was the one pushing into Hoang, and Hoang lost 50% of his siege capacity. This was the only siege workshop he had left. And that was just a fun game out of both players. I like to see buildings converted. I like to see players getting pressed into. Hoang didn't really respond in the traditional way when you get pressed into building a wall around the attack path of the castle. But he didn't really need to. He just, I think he had a wall off of buildings here, and that's all he really cared about. Perhaps realizing that organ guns could only press in so far before a town center or a castle took them out. But Hoang then returns with 43 army count, 41 more villagers, and 70 total population more. And like I said, just domino after domino after domino after domino fell, and Survivalist, with his 5th and final line of defense, the human line of defense, realizes that, hey, wait a second, I just lost a bunch of my Cavaliers to conversions. Your Trebs are still here. Your Woad Raiders are now at a ridiculous 14 attack because they're elite. They've got 85 HP. And so even though the Woad Raiders are not stronger than the Cavalier, on the whole, 1v1, there are 3 times as many of them here. And by the way, there's also converted. Let's get rid of the monks. There's also 3 converted ones. So if you look at the HP, Survivalist has literally 3 times less army than Hoang. And Hoang shows up, pushes Survivalist back. That was a super fun game. I mean, kudos to Survivalist for continuing to do a stutter step retreat. Did not give an inch of ground without a fight. And then unfortunately lost all of his stone. All of that stone he was mining the entire game. Lost castle after castle after castle. That was fun to see. Maybe not if you're Survivalist, but fun for us as the audience to see PKPM towards the end of the game for our Portuguese in red, and PKPM a minute later for our Celt in blue, who trained 94 Woad Raiders to the 30 Cavaliers, although who's getting who majority of the games, those were Knights, 20 monks to 7, and oh my goodness, Survivalist. Oh, we saw this during a live stream recently where Survivalist's 3rd most trained unit is Hoang's, and Hoang's 3rd most trained unit is Survivalist. These are, I'm assuming, all conversions. Actually, let's take a look at the conversion count. Yeah, 27 to 7. I'm assuming these 7 knights are all conversions. 3 cavaliers and 4 knights, but 27 conversions out of 107. That is literally a quarter of the Celtic army converted by Survivalists. And I'm telling you, if you want to practice monk play and you're not too sure how, definitely check out Survivalist's content, because he does have a lot of fun tutorials and stuff like that. He's a very methodical, very careful player, as you can tell by this game. Buildings destroyed, even though Survivalist managed to make a few inroads initially. It is Hoang who has 6 times the number of buildings destroyed. Economically, yeah, this is what happens when you go super duper fast castle and your opponent goes up to 3 town centers to your 1. Your opponent has literally 50% more economy than you. Relics not really playing a role, about 400 to 350 gold difference, but everything going to our Celt, except surprise, surprise, our Portuguese had more stone, but not a lot more stone. Less than 200 more is a super cool stat. And let's take a look at the total kill count. Not the highest kill game, but super exciting in my opinion. And like I said, from the moment, I was a little bit confused in the sense of the direction of the game. I thought, I do remember I said something along the lines of, will the castle be here, here, or here? And it was neither here nor here. It was, in fact, here. But I love the defense. I wonder if Survival should have just retreated initially all the way back, and instead of a castle, just built up his stable count if he wanted to go the cavalry route. But then again, I'm wondering why Survivalist, with all that wood that he had about 5 or 10 minutes ago, just wasn't training more organ guns. Is there something about the organ guns that's not great against Woad Raiders? I know the Woad Raiders are pretty fast and they can close on the organ guns, but if you have enough monks and you convert enough units, that organ gun with the plus 2 attack bonus is not terrible, especially when you fire bullets in a spread and you can hit multiple Woad Raiders. We've seen, I think there was a game with Hera and Mr. Yo about 6 or 7 or 8 months ago or a year ago, where Hera just absolutely overwhelmed the organ guns with the Woad Raiders, but I think he had numerical superiority in that case, as Mr. Yo has, as Hoang has now. But I wonder if the game would have turned out maybe a little differently if we had seen a few more organ guns with that initial push. But what an initial push it was, breaching into the base, converting. I mean, redemption smushes are so annoying to deal with. What do you do when you keep losing infrastructure? I guess it's lucky for you you're the Celt and your lumberjacks work 15% faster and you can get lumber as much as you want. Look at how much wood Mr. Yo. Oh my, why do I keep saying Mr. Yo? I've got that game in my brain now. Look at how much wood Hoang ends the game with. 2,000. He's got more wood than Survivalist has resources, period. But it doesn't really matter. All that wood is going straight into the farming community. And after destroying 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of defense, it is Survivalist with the last layer of the human defense. His Cavaliers are down a third of their HP, realizes he cannot take this army on, and taps out, lives to fight another day after an interesting push out of him. A bit of a conservative push with a first castle being here. But like I said, maybe he wanted to make sure that Hoang wasn't out on the map first. In any event, it is what it is. Our Celt withstands the Portuguese pressure, not only withstands, but thrives under it. With 3, wait a second. What am I missing? Oh, no, yeah, I was going to say 3 because I remember seeing him build a town center. I think he just rebuilt the town center on the location of the one that Survivalist destroyed. And the Treb War did not go well for Survivalist at all. Those bringing those 10 villagers to repair the Treb was absolutely a brilliant move. That should have stifled his economy a lot, but it did not, just because he had so many more villagers than Survivalist. Remained on 1 TC for the longest time, and then actually went on to 3 TCs to the 2 of his opponent. So there you go. Just overall a very interesting wonky game of offense and defense, or defense and offense, depending on which player's perspective you're looking at. But ultimately, it is our Celt who withstands the Portuguese assault, pushes back no fewer than 4 levels of defense, and like domino after domino after domino after domino, all the Portuguese dominoes fell, and it is our Celt Hoang who is victorious. But GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.